I really knew very little about the organization, and having since read up on it to a certain degree, and seeing the comprehensive approach that Caminar has to the treatment ongoing for people with mental problems, and it's something that in reality is becoming more and more apparent these days that it affects so many of us. So many people, either family members or close friends, and the veterans coming home with PTSD. My father was in the Second World War. These guys, came home from places like Omaha Beach and parachuting into Germany and places like that, and saw things that probably no one should see, and then got back home and just said, okay, everything's okay now. Well, wrong. And unfortunately, a lot of our veterans now, end up on the street and with untreated mental problems. And back in my father's era, it was called what, battle fatigue? Isn't that what they called it?
Yeah.
And if you suffered from it, you were branded some kind of coward or weak. So these guys stuffed this way down and drank a lot. A disastrous attempt at self-medication. I have to, just on a more personal note, my son, who is an adult now with kids of his own, is on the autism scale. And now he has, in his late 40s, early onset Alzheimer's. And, this is, it's driven home the point to me that, and living in New York City as I have for, a number of years, the number of homeless people on the street, quite a few of whom are, people that have been turned out of, institutions, because of funding and whatever. And these people are left to their own devices and, continue to spiral down. And just that, the sensitivity to humanity is something that is so easy to lose, that we realize we have to remind ourselves that these people have lives, they have histories, they have lives, and they deserve a chance. They deserve a chance. And after reading the kind of work that Caminar is doing, the kind of comprehensive approach from getting people off the streets, into treatment centers, on medication, and then following through. And I think this is very important. Trying to create an atmosphere, trying to get them jobs, and to instill in people, as everyone should have, a sense of pride in who they are and what they do, and a sense of worth. Because there's nothing that makes somebody spiral down quickly than the feeling that their lives don't matter and that they're worthless. And I think if we ignore this, it reflects on our own humanity, and it makes us less of a human being. The more we insulate ourselves against these realities of the society that we live in. And I'm just grateful that organizations like Caminar exist, and I just hope that the consciousness that this organization has will spread, and the kind of caring and love that it's obviously represented and demonstrated. Well, let's make it right. That's all we're saying. Just make it right.
Thank
we're
you.
We're all just trying to get through.
Thank you, David.
And the truth is, we're just all of us are one or two tragedies away from being in that same place. You know what I'm saying? So, for whatever reason, I think that we have to remember that we're all human beings on this planet, and whatever we're given at birth, it's who we are, and we deserve respect. Having said all that and put my foot in my mouth several times, I'd like to move on and do what I do. I have to shut up and play, you know? So, we're gonna... I love you too, sir. The first tune we played was a Stevie Wonder song called Another Star. And the second tune was a tune that was written by my good friend Marcus Miller called Maputo. And this next tune is a song that Marcus and I wrote together. We're going to feature some of our members of our band, our percussionists and our drummer particularly. It's a song called Camel Island.